Today's episode of Girl Which Way is brought to you by Shalia Speaks. Shalia Speaks is the brand that covers me, Shalia, the author and speaker. All of my books and work is housed under it. You can purchase my books from Amazon.com, Apple, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, or wherever books are sold. Also, check out ShaliaVinny.com to learn more about Shalia, the author and speaker, to hire Shalia for help with your content or writing needs, just to see what I'm up to, or just to get a good word. My team is standing by now. Make sure you tell them Girl Which Way sent you. Hello, and welcome to the Girl Which Way podcast, the show that exists because life is a journey, but you still need direction. Grab your girls and get ready, because each episode we'll be talking about our real life issues, answering questions, and building solid relationships with one another as we heal and learn. I'm your host, your girl, Shalia Vinny, and today's show is a special show because we asked our listeners what you'd like us to talk about, and this show was suggested by one of our most loyal listeners, Gracia. So, today's show is all about forgiveness. We'll discuss the ins and outs of forgiveness and how to let go of the hurt when someone has wronged you. Girl Which Way would also like to send a special shout out to another one of our favorite listeners, our girl Madison in West Virginia. We see you and love you for listening. Gracia and Madison, please reach out to us on Facebook because you have both won an Amazon gift card. Thank you for being members of our Girl Way Nation. It's just that easy. Will you be next? You know what a messed up feeling is? Being hurt and betrayed by someone you were supposed to be able to trust. Nothing stings and lingers quite like it. It could be a parent, friend, spouse, relative, basically anyone you feel close to, really. You allow yourself to feel something and to be vulnerable, only to have it blown up in your face and to feel like a fool. You're embarrassed. You feel stupid and caught off guard. You're disgusted and heartbroken, so you vow to never let anyone else get the best of you in such a way again. It's a coping mechanism. You burn your hand. Surely you're not going to go and touch the fire again. Nothing wrong with protecting yourself, but it is something wrong with holding on to the unforgiveness. On this show, I want to speak to you about that hurt and resentment, and I want you to have an open mind and an open heart so that we can move past it and cleanse you of this resentment. It's time to get to the work, babe. It's not easy, and it takes effort on your part, but it can be done. So let's do the work. If you cannot or have not forgiven them yet, it's because you're still not over it. First of all, I want to say, stop expecting you from other people. You are so busy wanting to see them for who they could be that you often lose sight of who they actually are. Because you are kind and genuine and honestly want what's best for everyone, you expect this from others in return. And most people today just aren't capable of this kind of morality, integrity, and loyalty. You give them too much leeway. That's the main reason why you feel so betrayed. You would never behave in such a way, so you can't fathom that someone else could. And it's often at your own detriment. You expect too much from others, and that's why you're always disappointed. Sit back and watch others. Let them show you who they are before you decide to show them who you are. Now, I want to identify some of the ways unforgiveness shows up in your life. Be honest about which one resonates with you. You're petty and impulsive. When interacting with the person who you struggle to forgive, do you make little backhanded remarks and comments? Do you send them passive-aggressive text messages? Are you constantly going back and forth with them? Now, where has it gotten you so far? You're still powerless because you have not forgiven them. This is what you should be doing instead. If you have to deal with this person, try pausing before you have to engage with them. Sometimes it's just a moment that you need to take to let your common sense kick in and override your emotions. It's just time for you to think about it. Now, is your discussion going to improve things, or is it just going to take the edge off of your hurt for a moment just before the regret just comes back anyway? Is it even worth discussing? How about if you're desperate to make them understand how you feel? In your mind, does the conversation sound something like this? Well, if the person who caused me pain could only see what they'd done, they would want to say they were sorry. I just have to make sure they know how they made me feel. Then I can have closure. Okay, listen. I hate to tell you this, But chances are they know exactly what they've done and how they made you feel. And because they are toxic, they don't care. If a decent amount of time has passed by and there's still no apology or second thought, yep, they know and they don't care. It's hard to swallow, but the person may never own up to what they've done. You're going to need to learn to be okay with that, because if you spend your life waiting for closure, you're not going to get it. Acceptance and letting go are going to be the key aspects of forgiveness for you. You're compulsive. You can't control what someone else has done to you, but you can control how you move so that you can go down a terrible spiral into compulsive activity. Your compulsiveness can come out in a few different ways, and you might not even realize you're doing it. Maybe for you it's cleaning, like crazy trying to keep your spaces clean. Perhaps you always checking social media of the person who wronged you, or you start buying stuff you wouldn't normally buy, or things you really don't need. You might start comfort eating. Basically, you're just doing all type of busy stuff just to keep yourself distracted so that you can just ease the pain and not think about it, so you can feel better for a temporary time. You need to pull away, because none of this that you're doing is really helping you to heal. Maybe you're not taking responsibility for your feelings. You might be this person. A lot of us do this. Do you ever find yourself blaming the person you can't forgive for your feelings? Understand what I'm saying, right? So basically, the person that hurt you can just walk on with their lives and move on, but you are sitting here with this unforgiveness. And so what this is actually saying is this person that's wronged you does not have to be responsible for what they did to you, but they are responsible for how you reacted and responded to what they did to you. So make it make sense. So now you're going to give them this kind of power. They're responsible for what they did to you, and they're responsible for how you feel about it and how you react. It sounds different when you hear it out loud, huh? But this is exactly what you're doing. You have given them way too much power over you, and you need to take it back. Only you are responsible for your reactions and your feelings. Get your power back. Maybe you hate yourself. If you're stuck in unforgiveness, you are probably experiencing a toxic combo of guilt and shame and self-judgment and self-sabotage. Secretly, you blame yourself for being so stupid and letting this happen to yourself. You hate that you let them get this close. You may not even realize that you're being so hard on yourself. This is not going to help you either. It happened. The only way to get out of it now is to forgive yourself and love yourself just as you are right now. Oh, this is another one. You replay the scene over and over again. Have you ever been this person? I have, okay? You find yourself lying awake in bed. It's 2 a.m. You're just sitting around replaying the events that happened weeks, months, years ago. Every time you replay the event in your mind, your feelings of resentment keep growing and keep getting stronger. Sometimes you find yourself fixating so much on the past that you allow it to define everything you do. Thus, you can't fully see the future. For instance, if your heart was broken in a past relationship, you may have consciously decided to let people in only so far, even someone you actually really have grown to love who is actually deserving of you. But you'll never know that because you've shut out any real opportunity to have something real because you're stuck at what was. Another one. You gossip about them. It's natural to want to hurt someone that's hurt you, but this is very, very common and it's super toxic. One of the most common ways we do this is gossiping. We tell secrets or we spread lies outright just to hurt these people behind their backs. Why are you gossiping? You know why? Because you're still hurt. They've moved on. They could probably care less, but you are stuck. No need to go on this smear campaign. Just let it go. Walk away. They don't deserve any more of your energy. You might be exercising poor judgment. If someone has hurt you in a significant way, you may engage in unhealthy or risky behavior as a form of medication. You know, maybe like these are these people that have they've had someone cheat on them. So they start engaging in like all these unhealthy relationships, or they, go crazy shopping or doing just stuff they wouldn't normally do. What's worse is that we then justify these actions with a false sense of self-care. They're out there doing them, so I'm going to do me. I got to look out for my number one. I'm doing this for me. No. Self-care is very important, but make sure you know the difference between what self-care is and what self-sabotage is. It's not the same thing. Another thing people do is you refuse to confide in others. Reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness. In fact, you may be holding on to this unforgiveness because you believe it causes you to appear to be weak in front of others. But if the hurt is so overwhelming for you, you probably need to reach out to somebody. You have a trusted friend somewhere, I'm sure. You need to talk to this person in a non-gossipy way. The difference here is that when you gossip, you focus on the person you're upset with. But when you're focusing on your own feelings and owning how you feel, you're just sharing your feelings and trying to just get a sense of relief and get a different perspective. It may free you from some of the hurt, and you might be able to move on from the resentment. So identify 2 or 3 people you could confide in and reach out to one of them today. Don't even think about it or second guess it. Just reach out and find somebody you can talk to. Today's episode of Girl Which Way is brought to you by Shalia Speaks. Shalia Speaks is the brand that covers me, Shalia, the author and speaker. All of my books and work is housed under it. You can purchase my books from Amazon.com, Apple, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, or wherever books are sold. Also, check out ShaliaVinny.com to learn more about Shalia, the author and speaker, to hire Shalia for help with your content or writing needs, just to see what I'm up to, or just to get a good word. My team is standing by now. Make sure you tell them Girl Which Way sent you. So we've been talking about unforgiveness and the many ways it shows up to ruin our lives. It hurts, and it can really stay with us. It can become a part of us if we let it. Understand that what someone does to you has nothing to do with you. People are free and clear to make their own decisions, and their actions are their own, even when those actions break your heart. People can be messed up for all sorts of messed up reasons. Who knows what they are dealing with and what resentment they are holding on to that they themselves need to heal from. Now, this is not an excuse. We're not going to just give them a free pass. But if we're being honest, though, perhaps we should see them as a cautionary tale. Hurt people hurt people. And if you're such a hurt person that you hurt someone who meant you well, your story is even more tragic than we even thought. Do you really want to be one of those people that makes other people hurt? Do you really want to become one of these people who continues the cycle of dysfunction, all because some scumbag of a human did you wrong? Of course not. Why would you want that? So first things first, acknowledge that the person hurt you and address how it made you feel. Be honest with yourself. Write your thoughts down if you have to. You need to be fully present and accepting of what has happened if you're going to heal. So no more denial. We're done with denial. Next, you need to forgive yourself for everything, whatever part you played, that you couldn't stop it sooner, or forgive yourself for being in the predicament, or forgive yourself for still having love in your heart for that person who has wronged you. You know, you're not broken. You're just someone who truly cared about somebody else. And it can be hard to turn off your feelings just because you're hurt. It is possible to forgive someone, never want to see them again, and still have love for them. So it's okay. Forgive yourself. Next, you need to feel. Be pissed off. Be mad. Cry. Yell. Scream. Do whatever you need to do to stop suppressing your feelings about it. Once you unpack your feelings, you can then store them where they rightfully belong, off of your heart and into your vote of life experiences as learned lessons. You know, there's a Chinese proverb that says, if you're going to pursue revenge, you better dig 2 graves, which is basically saying your resentments will destroy you. Today, make the choice to let it go. Do your work and just put it away. Let's just be done. Only you know when you have begun to heal. And it might seem like it's a slow and grueling process, but there is a silver lining. Here are 5 ways that you can tell for sure that you've begun to heal, in case you're not sure. Your thoughts are more positive and calm. One day, you just start to find yourself not so stuck on the pain and resentment anymore. It'll feel like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders. Life will feel like it's getting better. You'll start feeling happier and looking forward to your future. Your heart will just start to feel lighter. Your health will start to change for the better. You'll start sleeping better. You don't have the same headaches or stomach aches anymore. Those sleepless nights are gone. Your anxiety that you used to have is all of a sudden something that you just remember now. It's just a simple memory because it's not happening like it used to. You stop caring. This is such a huge one. You no longer care or are trying to prove your case to anyone anymore. You don't care what anyone thinks. You're not hell-bent on hurting the person who hurt you. In fact, if you had the chance to get revenge on them right now, you wouldn't even take it because you're just so over it for all the right reasons. Doesn't that feel good? It just feels amazing to not have any more bitterness. So what happens when that happens is your relationships with other people start getting better too, because you're getting better. Your mood and your whole energy has shifted. You're radiating light and love, and it's attractive and it's contagious. People want to be around you. You're so much more open to everything beautiful that life has to offer. Now, isn't that the narrative you want to have on your life? Don't you just want to feel whole? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude." You know, it's not easy to forgive, but the alternative is much worse. Unforgiveness is like a cancer. It plagues your body, mind, and spirit until it consumes you, and there's no space left for anything good. Make the choice to move on and set yourself free. It's time. Today's show was brought to you by Shalia Speaks, the author and speaker division of Shalia Vinny, and you can find out more at shaliavinny.com. Please rate the show on your streaming platform and share it with one person who you think needs to hear it, and please ask them to do the same. Remember, good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best. Until next time, your friend and constant motivator, Shalia. Bye.